Whenever you're ready.
All right. It's something everyone has experienced. No one's happy to see it, and everyone's always bummed. When you go to your favorite restaurant and the line is out the door, there must be 50 people in line in front of you. It must be an eternity before you'll get your order in, right? Imagine now, instead of waiting for food, you're waiting for a heart transplant and living every moment in fear of your life expiring before you'll get to the front of the line. Today I'll be talking about organ donation and the importance of being an organ donor. This topic is important to you because throughout your life, odds are you'll know someone or you will need an organ transplant, and you are all capable of being able to help. Organ donation is the process of transporting an organ from your body to someone else's, and it can also be parts of an organ. And I will address today the problems of the lack of organ donors, the reason why there is a lack of organ donors, and solutions to help gain more organ donors. This topic is important to me because I have a history in my family of heart disease, and I hope I never have to be on the transplant waiting list. So first, I will be talking about the problems that are caused by having too few organ donors. The first problem is that there is way too many people on the waiting list. There's over 121,000 people on the organ donation list for this year. That is a current statistic from organdonor.gov, and that is updated daily. And this number continues to rise, and 10 years ago there was only 80,000 people on the organ donation list, the transplant waiting list. And so it keeps growing, but the number of donors stays relatively the same. In 2013, there was just under 29,000 organ transplants performed from just over 14,000 different donors. On an average day, there's 79 organ transplants that occur, and I know you may be thinking that that is a lot, but there is also 22 people that die on average waiting for an organ on every day. And every 10 minutes, someone is added to the transplant waiting list. So now that we've looked at the problems that are caused from the lack of organ donors, we'll now look at the causes and why there are too few. The causes of the lack of organ donation is often linked to misinformation and the lack of education on the topic. Many people will not consider themselves to be an organ donor because of myths that they have heard that are untrue in the past. Many of the myths include not being able to have an open casket funeral, which is not true. You can have an open casket funeral after having an organ transplant. They do a good job of hiding scars or tissue that has been removed. And another is that it's against your religion, and that's also not true. Not all religions. Organ donation is consistent with most of the major religions, excluding some forms of Hinduism and Buddhism. But for the most part, it's consistent with most major religions. And a lot of people think that they're too old to donate their organs, which is also not true, because when doctors evaluate an organ for transplant, they do not look at the age, they look at the health of the organ itself and not how long it's been there. Another reason that people are not considering themselves to be organ donors is because of the risk that they think it will take if you're a living organ donor. Living organ donors do not have any more risk than the surgery itself, and they can maintain a normal life after donating an organ, and the only thing that's changed is you might be lighter from not having your organ. So now that we've looked at the problems and causes of not having enough organ donors, we will now look at the solutions. The solutions include 3 major steps. The first is to properly educate people and debunk the myths of organ donation and make that common knowledge rather than the untrue myths that people hear. Another solution would be to educate people on the power of organ transplant and organ donation and what it can do. A MissouriHealth.gov article states that one single donor can save up to 8 people's lives and enhance the lives of over 50 others. A good story about this is Blair DeMoss. She's a relative of Independence, Missouri. She grew up in Independence, Missouri, and at 11 years of age, on the 4th of July, she was struck by a stray bullet and lost her life. Her parents opted to have her organs donated, and she saved the life of 4 people under the age of 18 and a 58-year-old man with her organs. And so that's a testimony to what it can do. And the last step that would also help raise awareness to organ donors is to actually register now. It takes 10 minutes to register on organdonor.gov, and that 10 minutes can, equal so many years of life in other people if you do donate. So you also get a really cool heart on your driver's license. So that's also a plus. In conclusion, we've talked about the problems and causes of having too few organ donors, and we've also looked at the solutions of having too few organ donors. So I leave you today with the question, why not donate? And what are you going to use your organs for after you're dead? Thanks.